Mic on.
Buenos dias, que pedo, que onda, que pasa, que tal. How's everybody doing this morning? First off, I'm going to say cheers for this early Monday. Thank you guys for joining me. Just about a minute until opening bell, and AMC is moving on the way up. Today we're rocking the Netherlands kit here. This is a 2016 kit. And I want to get straight over to the chart so you guys can see what we're doing here, how we're moving over on the AMC here, right before the bell opens. Currently sitting at about 10-12, it looks like. And let me get back here from a low. Oh man, did it really break 9? I guess it did. I've got it set for this morning. Yeah, we hit a low of 895. We got some good news coming out, and we'll wait for the bell here. Let me turn this down. There we go. Just about 20 seconds here. I'll pull up the news real quick because someone upgraded the stock here. I don't know if it'll show on this one. B. Riley upgrades AMC Entertainment Holdings to buy from neutral on potential benefit from industry's projected resurgence, raises PT to 13 from 17. So their price target set at $13. So we should see this thing start to move up a little bit. Here today we already have, and I anticipate this will run for a couple of days here. So already up about 13% on the morning from its low point. Good time to buy right there. And probably some people taking a little bit of profits here because they were a little bit worried. Not moving too bad, but we were in some oversold territory according to the RSI. So it's likely we'll see this thing. Yeah, already just plummeting down here on the RSI. So I think we'll start to see a little bit of consolidation, maybe even reversal, and let this thing keep running back up. I truthfully think we get to probably $11 today. We'll pull up GME because I noticed something with GME was it was doing, something very similar, but not quite the run up that we see with AMC. Let's check percentage here. Pretty close, 11%. So pretty close. I think they just look different when you see this versus, this. Although we did see that, so huge there. All the way down to 155 over on GameStop. Currently sitting at 171. And looks like we are under 10 right now on AMC. We need to get back above this 1050 mark today. I think that's a big target for us holders. Let this thing get above 1050 here. Today may be your last opportunity to buy for a while. Sub 10s. That's my personal opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just documenting this journey to me becoming a successful day trader for you guys to see. And, so you guys can follow along, especially to the newbies out there. I've been trading for a few years. However, most of my trading was dividend and long-term investing. Currently working on the old day trades and swing trades using a strategy to gain 5% per trade. Sometimes we follow it, sometimes we don't, and sometimes we're left holding the bag. So as you can see on the left here, if you guys follow the stream, we've added a couple more positions here since we first started here, but nothing too crazy. We're still held down in our position here with AMC. Currently sitting at 310 long at a dollar cost average of $8.72 here. Up about $195 on the day so far. 388 net profit here overall. So looking pretty good. Looking a lot better than we did last week. And I think once we get this surge above $10, we'll continue to move. Volume doing pretty dang good compared to where we stood last week. Last minute at 818,000. We'll see if we taper off here. We're currently about half a minute into it, and we're only at 200,000 here. So see what volume does for most of the day. If you guys were following along, last week we entered into a position for a scalp. You can see we had a pretty nice run up here. We caught this thing right about here at, I want to say, 632, and we set instead of setting our our percentage here, what we did was we thought we could, once we close above this line here, we might be able to gap up more, and I had it set for 6% instead of 5, and we didn't follow the strategy. Got an alert about the PDT rule, and that I would be margin called if I were to attempt to make the trade once I tried to change the sell order, and it kind of threw me off. And when we bounced back up and touched for the second time, I was currently trying to change the limit order down, or the sell order down, because I had it up pretty high here. And we missed out, and then we got caught holding the bag here for quite some time throughout the rest of the day. So didn't look too good, just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. We finally found this resistance here at about $5.10 or 11 cents. If you back out here to the 180, you can see, well, maybe that's not the best one to look at. You can see that it has popped up before. And then it popped up again. So I'm anticipating that this may have another pop at some point just to get us to where we need to sell out. We're only like 13 positions long here, so nothing crazy. 13 at 632. Currently down $13 overall. Up on the day though, so we're going to keep holding the bag on this one. I didn't want to waste a day trade, so we might exit out of this position today. I really don't like taking a loss, and I didn't want to waste a day trade on this last week, so we didn't. We decided not to set a stop loss and take the exit. So I still have it set for about I think it's 5% right now. Let me try to find it. Way up here. So yep, 664. That's our 5%. If we can get there, we'll take it. Looks like we're going to start selling off again. We did break below this level resistance here, so or this level of support. We got about 10-15 more cents before we get to the next one. We'll see if yep. So pushed down by this level resistance here at the 544 mark. So anyhow, that's where we stand there on UPC. If you guys were following along last Friday. Coming back over to AMC, just want to see how we're doing here. Follow along for the morning. Volume staying pretty decent so far. 400,000 for the lowest of the day. Currently sitting at 340 and moving with about another half a minute, or actually less. So this one may be the lowest. Oh, we passed it. All right, so just under 500,000 in volume for the low time. With this thing being upgraded, I really anticipate to see it move on through and move up. Here we have our position with AMTX. Man, massive sell-offs to start the day here. Not sure what's going on there. Already in oversold territory. And we're expecting this thing to keep its trend upwards, so we entered into this possible day trade and more than likely swing trade, and it has become a swing trade for us. As you can see all the way back here, and this is the start of, actually this is as I was July here. So you see me back in July at 78 cents. We started this trend upwards and took quite a while to start really making some big leaps. But some healthy pullbacks along the way. Continued upwards. Some pullbacks. And we saw a pretty big pullback there once we hit the all-time high at 27.44. Getting very close to reaching that point again. So we knew that this would be a level of resistance here. and it looks like we have respected that level of resistance up to this point. So just got rejected by it. We'll see what happens, but this for us is just kind of a, I mean, it's 2 positions long, guys. $26. Nothing too crazy here. We were just practicing the swing trade to see if we could identify a possible swing, and I feel like we have. We're just waiting for it to play out now. But that's the thing with swing trades. Sometimes they can take a day, sometimes they can take a couple days, sometimes a couple weeks or longer. So since we are new, I really try to diversify my portfolio and put about half of it into long-term dividend, and then the day in swing trade stuff, I usually just, like, it's a very small portion. I have done it with a couple $1,000s, and it made me really nervous. So I felt like, you know what, until I can feel confident and comfortable trading a higher dollar cost or higher capital, then you know, we'll put our stocks into some things, let them set out, and see what happens, and we'll just trade very small amounts. The our strategy is to find our entry. Well, before I get into that, strategy is news catalyst or catalyst of some sorts that's in the positive, a lot of volume, and then see this thing, you know, on an uptrend, and then possible see to where it was at one point to know, like, where our level of resistance will be. So, for instance, let's say we look at AMC, and there's the volume that's normal on days, right? Even though this is aftermarket, let's just take that out of the equation here and say, like, our normal day is about 60,000, right? And then today you see we're pushing 800s and stuff. And let's say they got a big news catalyst, kind of like they did, like they've got upgraded, right? Same thing, we saw this with Harley Davidson. So, okay, hits the volume, hits the catalyst, and then go back, you know, maybe 10-20 days, kind of see, okay, we think potentially we could get up to here before we find any kind of resistance, and set your bar there, 1158, and alright, 1158, that's kind of our bull maximum, hopefully. And then what I'll do is, like, okay, there's a bull maximum looking at 16%. Our bare minimum here, let's say, alright, we're down here a little bit lower than where it typically trades at. So let's say on the higher end here, 1065. Alright, let's take this there. And bare minimum, we're looking at about 7%. So that's how I would identify an entry point and an exit point, or at least the exit points, the possible exit points. Your entry point, you know, you need to watch the price action. Easiest to do that on the 1 minute for me. And actually zoomed in a little bit too far here. And what I would do is, you see its rise. Let's say this is in the day. You see its rise, its little pullback, some consolidation. Once we start breaking above this line here, that's just reversal. So if we were looking at this on a mini scale, you could say this 1015 is potentially where we will get back to. So that is potentially our exit point here. You could even mark it 1013 just to make sure you get sold, and find your entry point. You just wait for the pullback, wait for some consolidation, and then signs of reversal, creating some higher highs. And you see back here, once we break past this little point here, this is where I feel would have been a decent time to buy. You see it break above, you could set your order for there, and then if we think that this is where we're going to sell at 1014, not a lot of percentage there, but you know, this is all hypotheticals here. Oh, as I don't know why it's pulling that information here. So we say the break, we get filled in here. We think we're going to sell up here, as it were, 2.5%, somewhere around there, 2.2. So not bad. I mean, I'm happy with anything above 2.5. Really, shooting for 5, at least on these little scalps. So, you know, we've got our catalyst, our volume, our trend. We find our entry point and we find our exit point, and then we just go ahead and set our orders, you know, or wait for it to play out. As you can see here, we are currently being held up by this level of support at 983. We will see if we continue to respect this level. We did break down below it right here on the open. We'll see if we respect it and then get that bounce that we need. So potentially we get that bounce that we need. We can see this thing push up, and we want to see it push past this point here at 1008, and then we've got our next level, a little resistance right there, and about 1015 mark. So we did get that bounce. Currently looks like we are trading above, well, that's actually a price target I had set, trend line I set here, just about above the SMA. Currently trading above the EMA and above the middle VWAP at the moment right now. So it looks like we're going to get this bounce right off this middle VWAP here. You can see the purple line. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we are just on that purple middle VWAP, and you can see it right here. So it comes in, stay underneath. We got just below it and looking to get a bounce off of it and continue this trend upwards. Especially once we push past this SMA as well. Like you see here, we start to trend over it, and then we just kind of rise up above it. So we'll see if that happens. We did fall below. This is all, you know, pre-market's a little volatile. Not too crazy, but you see this thing, for whatever reason, in AMC, we see a lot of movement in the after hours. I mean, massive movement here. Now I won't trade away from these the SMA, because the SMA, the simple moving average, it will stay on track with the share price. But once we get popping above this middle VWAP here, you guys can see the purple line here. Once we popped above it, we just really took off for a little bit and really gave ourselves some distance here. So looking to do that again. If we can get this thing moving. Volume has tapered off just slightly. Currently trading between 200, actually 150 there. So see where we set for a little bit, and here in a moment, maybe a good time to do a stock scan. So the old hog here, Harley Davidson, looking really good right now. If you guys followed along last week, they had some good news that there was a price target. Baird upgrades Harley Davidson to outperform, raises price target to $45, and Wedbush adjusts Harley Davidson's price target to $43 from $42. Keeps outperform rating. So, and then Baird from 38 to 45. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Yep, so just some good bullish news here on the Harley Davidson. We have our exit position up here at 43.20, and I believe that's 5% for us. This is actually a pretty decent portion size of our portfolio here. Currently sitting at 42 long, dollar cost average of $40. Down $10. This is the best we have looked in a while, other than one point back in, I think, late January, early February, and we'll take this back out and look at the 180 so you guys can see here. So we did touch above. That was back in January, and then again at the end of January, just before February 1st here. Touching that line again, just touching where we want to sell. So this may not be the best spot to sell here. I don't know. It looks like we may not get filled if we come up to this line. I mean, maybe if we get here, but if we get here, possibly not. Luckily, it's only 42 positions, so it's not like it's a crazy amount to try to get filled. But as you guys can see, if we were to go back and look at the 3-year here, I've been holding this position since either before this or right after this, somewhere around here in this $40 range. and it was looking pretty good. Had a decent dividend, not too bad. Harley Davidson's a company I believe in, and with their electric vehicle, with their motorcycle Livewire, I still feel like it's a good play for the future. However, I think there are better price points to get in, and instead of averaging down, which I should have done back here when it was at a low of 1431, I just held my position strong. And you know, at the time, I did not want to. I didn't know what was going to happen with the economy, and I didn't want to enter. I didn't want to add to my portfolio too much because it was down over 50% in total. So I just kind of stepped away from trading for almost the whole last year, and just kind of forgot about everything. Just so I didn't have to look at the portfolio. But as you can see, as the Phoenix rises here, we are back up, and I didn't really think about selling this position until recently. I kind of want to use this money for day trading, or find something else to you know, to invest in. So looking to get out. Nothing crazy. I'm set at 43.20. I want to say that that is, and where are we at here on the active? 40, so just about $40. We'll just call it there. That's 3. However, I'm sorry. It's about $40. What was I doing? Yeah, I grabbed it from the right point. So just above 8% there. So we want a little bit more on this one just because it has been a swing trade, and I kind of want to make it worth the trade here. And I think that there's potential that we could get back up to this point at some point, you know, touch, and maybe I can get filled here, or, you know, get sold. So just kind of where we stand. We'd like to typically go all over. Oh man, I saw the drop here and I was like, kind of stumbled me. Go back to AMC. I saw we pushed the $10 range. So starting to trend upwards a little bit. Volume still kind of doing okay. If we were to take a step back here, it is really hard to tell. I can look at last week's. I mean, volume was looking pretty good. Actually, you know, to start the morning it did. It kind of tapered off here and then got pretty low under the 100,000s. But there were some days last week, if I could go back and if I said it, I guess I could. I could do a 5-day 1 minute here. So let's go back. There's Thursday. We can even look at Wednesday here. You can see most of the day here, 66,000, even on the high points. The highest we got was 545. And then, you know, most of the time throughout the day we were under 100. There's 212 there. Most is all trading under 100,000. Sometimes a little bit over in some of these bars here, but just slightly over. We did start the morning out, but it was a, you know, pretty big sell-off here. 200 to 1, and then the high candle of 8. So nothing really crazy. Even the high graphs here, 360. That one there at 545. So nothing really super crazy. You know, you guys can see just in comparison how they look. Looks pretty low. We had some high volume at the sell-off, and then you know, kind of there, but a lot of mostly throughout the day we just kind of held it down under 100. And here's Thursday. Sorry, there's Friday. And you see this big sell-off here. We know what that was all about. If you guys have watched any YouTube videos over the weekend, Even if you watch my video, I mean, we called it out almost immediately when we saw the article on the morning. I want to say this was on Friday here. When Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC, was on, Jim Cramer's morning show. Well, a lot of these news sources took the news there, and they've already fixed it since then. And we did this in the afternoon as well on Friday. We looked at it and we tried to find the articles that we were finding in the morning, and we couldn't find anything. I mean, the way that they sell stuff here, AMC executives sell large amounts of stock. I mean, compared to the average retailer, yeah, you know. But they're trying to make it like huge headlines. And then I don't even know if they have this article in here. Let's see if I can even find it here. Correction from source: AMC might issue 500 million. See, so now we're seeing some yeah, right here. Correction from source: AMC might, in quotation marks, issue 500 million share offering. If you guys followed along, you know the fact that they have to add this correction. It's they should have got the fuck. They should have got the story right to begin with, you know, reputable news sites and all. Sorry guys, just about to drop the old F-bomb there. Kind of makes me mad, you know. As you can watch something, you know, you watch the clip, you listen to it, and nowhere in there does he say that he's going to. This is old news. If you guys are shareholders, you should have gotten an email if you've been holding on for as long as I have. You would have gotten the emails from AMC, and I'll actually pull up the email here off stream. And I myself have not yet voted, but we may actually take that time to do that here on stream today. So somewhere in him, I'm trying to sift through the emails, the thousands of emails I have. Somewhere in here, so here's this one. I know I have I have a few of these actually, and I'm kind of curious. I would imagine we'll take a look at the first one here. Don't want to show you guys my control number. I'll read the email off screen here so you guys can see. AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated has issued proxy materials for its 2021 annual meeting of shareholders. Meeting date is May 4th. The record date is March 11th, 2021. So I'm assuming that if you held held a position in AMC before or on March 11th, then you are able to vote on this redistribution or this offering of 500 million shares. So what you want to look for, I just typed AMC into my Yahoo Mail here, and then it pulled up like vote now, AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated annual meeting. You may have to look in your junk mail, but I suggest that you guys go ahead and find the email and just pull it out of your junk if it's in there, because I know my business email, after like 20 days or some random number, the emails get deleted from the junk mail. So it looks like you have up until May 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to vote. So the day before May 4th, as long as you do it at some point, but it's Eastern Standard Time. So remember that it's midnight on May 4th, Eastern Standard. So that early morning. So just go ahead and get voted before May 3rd. Just keep that in mind if you guys do want to vote. I'm going to go ahead and hit vote now. I'll pull up the screen and then I'll pull it over. Just want to make sure there's nothing on here that I don't want you guys to see. And I may have to do some digging on this. Looks like proposal number 5 to approve an amendment to our 2013 Equity Incentive Plan, the EIP, to increase the total number of shares subject to the EIP to 35 million shares of Class A common stock, revise the share replenishment provision, and eliminate the mandatory expiration of the EIP. So I'm going to have to look into that. What does the EIP mean? I'll just pull this over for you guys real quick so you can see. When you go to the vote now, you will get this. You'll have some information here. You can review all these documents here. I don't want to go into all of it right now. Today's Trades has made a video on this. Gosh, probably every YouTuber who's in AMC right now has made a YouTube video. So I'd go search theirs first. They're going to explain it to you a lot better than I can. Especially Trey's Trades. I know he breaks down each one and what they mean. But pretty much here, the very first one is the most important, in my opinion. And that is to approve an amendment to our Third Amendment and restated Certificate of Incorporation to increase the total number of shares of Class A common stock, par value 1 cent per share. The company shall have the authority to issue by 500 million shares of total to a total of, 1,024,173,073 shares of Class A common stock. So if you're for for, if you're against it, or if you don't want to vote on it, abstain. But me, I'm against that. So just pulling that off there. We may go over the rest of that, but you know, for the other stuff, I don't really care too much. These board of directors here, I don't really know. I mean, you're either for or abstain. So some of the stuff you can't really vote on these election of the board members. Anyhow, I was just reading through some more of that stuff there. Coming back to the charts. So looks like we popped up to where we thought here when we looked at that earlier, guys. If you were following along, and we were looking at, you know, possible scalp opportunity, just making an example. We took this as our bear maximum, and we did pop off at that range there. So you would not have gotten sold out if that was your plan. I mean, we looked at it; it was a very, very small percentage from where we thought. We're like, all right, you need to see the pullback. You need to see a consolidation and then signs of reversal. And then, so for me, the sign of reversal will be somewhere in here. But remember, this is potentially a stopping point here. So if you really want to be safe, you know, you're looking for somewhere above this line and then hoping there. But anyhow, just kind of trading a little sideways right now at 10.04. Looks like volume is still in this thing, not much. We see it on the green candles, seeing 668,000 there, 614,000 there. Little flatter for the other one. Still not looking too bad compared to where we were at. Actually, looks like I'm going to have to close this out real quick. Alright guys, I'm going ahead and voting. I'm going to let you just see, well, maybe, I don't know if I can even let you see that. Whatever. What I got, like five views. So I just went ahead and just voted for this stuff and abstained because, you know, it is my right as a shareholder to vote for these things. However, I'm not educated enough in each one of these, and at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and get the vote through. You know, that I feel that it wouldn't be right for me to make a firm decision, either a yes or a no, on some of this stuff because I don't know how it affects me or the company, and I'm just going to abstain. However, I know how this affects me, and I don't like it, so. So it's super easy. That's how you would do it. So I'm actually kind of curious to know, do I have multiple? Go ahead and close out there. I'm wondering if I have multiple votes here, because I believe that I got one from Robinhood as well. It took Robinhood quite a bit longer to give it to me, but hmm. So I don't know if I can vote multiple times, but I would imagine that you could vote. If you have multiple brokerage accounts, then yeah, you want to get your votes counted. However, I do not know for sure. AMTX falling at the moment here. UPC kind of standing still. I'm gonna leave you guys right here on the AMC chart. I'm gonna pull up the flex grid and I'll be right back. I'm gonna make another cup of coffee and I'll be right back.
Mic off. Mic on.
All right, I'm back. Sorry for the absence there. Just had to make a quick cup of coffee and do something else. I want to say Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate it. All right, here looks like take a little quick peek over here at GME and see how they are standing. Looks like they're starting to move upward a little bit and start to trade back in this gap here that we had set at some point. I don't remember when we set this. We've set a couple levels here that they will tend to trade it within. So it looks like we broke through, kind of got rejected a little bit in here, and you know, our lines aren't perfect right now, but you can see we do tend to respect them at some point. So that level of resistance now seemingly holding up for the moment, the time being. Currently sitting at 178 on GameStop. AMC up to 1018. So we're getting that move above the SMA here. Getting ready to test the upper VWAP. Hopefully test this thing. We see once we started to reach a little bit of overbought territory, we kind of pulled away a little bit, so a little healthy pullback, and we're continuing on upwards at this point here. So looking pretty good. I anticipate, again, I really think that we're going to hit potentially $11 today. But at the bare minimum, BEAR minimum, what we'd like to see is a we'd like to see the push above 1044, and I want to say we had that somewhere else. We were trading above that, so I got rid of all my messy trend lines here, but I'd like to see us push above this 1044, 1045, get back above that 1050 range. Nice $0.50 there. So we'll see if we can do it. It is good news that we are trading above the SMA right now and the middle VWAP. And if you guys were watching stream last week at any point, we did set a couple trend lines here, just trying to make a wedge here, just practicing the technical analysis skills. And what we did was we pulled the lowest point before this big run up here, and then I took a lot of this out of the equation here, this run up. I just don't think that this stuff I mean, yeah, it happened, but I think it was just kind of an anomaly almost. So I kind of take these big jumps out and leave it to where it potentially could rise up. I could probably even lower this a little bit. And you can see here, I just got the trend line. I think we set this right about here, and then we broke through it underneath it actually on Friday. But I think this is where we start trending upwards. And I thought, so last week, if you guys followed along, Thursday and Friday we talked about getting to that 11.5 range at some point during Wednesday. But I think with the good news here, so this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I kind of felt Wednesday was we're above this 1050 mark here, somewhere in this range. However, with the news of some upgrades here, some PTs being set at 13, I think we get this push a little bit sooner. Stomach's growling. It's almost time for breakfast. Been streaming for about 51 minutes. I don't think we'll go as long as 2 hours today. The typical 2 hour. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if this thing keeps moving up. We may just continue to stream and watch the price action here. Volume not looking too bad. About 200,000, a little more or so. You know, trading above 200 for most of these candles here, on these 1 minute candles, and that's fairly decent compared to where we were at last week. I was really hoping that we would have some news about Kong versus Godzilla and AMC numbers for the weekend box office numbers. So let me see if I can pull those up off stream really quickly. Well, I've got it open already, so let me just leave that. Godzilla. So here's an article, deadline via Yahoo. Godzilla vs. Kong propels domestic box office out of pandemic depression with $48.5 million 5-day opening. And I think our worldwide numbers from last week were, want to say, over 100 and something million. So best box office weekend of any film during the pandemic. That's what it's showing here. And potentially that is what is leading these PTs being changed. However, I don't see oh god. Anthony Saramucci, it's dangerous for retail investors to play names like GameStop. The manipulation is real, and they're using the media to fool a lot of people. All right, here we go. AT&T's Warner Media's Godzilla vs. Kong grosses 48.5 million over a 5-day period. So another good thing for us is that not only do we hold AMC, we also hold AT&T, and AT&T looking fairly decent. I mean, you know, only up 81 cents from its low point yesterday. But we're in this because of the 7.23% yield here. So not doing too bad over here on AT&T. We currently hold 108 positions long at a dollar cost average of $28.98. And again, the reason we're in this is probably half our portfolio, or somewhere around there, 40%, is because of not TTWO. Because of this 7.23 dividend yield here, $2.08 annually. It's not bad, not bad. And they were one of the companies that actually went up during 2020 instead of going down. So they're up 1.44% from 2019 to 2020. And we'll see if they continue that with a little bit more in 2021. I think it's a good play here. And if we just back out the 3-year here, you guys can see before the pandemic we're trading at 39.70. So I potentially think that this could be our bull maximum here, and potentially that somewhere trading in this range of anywhere from here to here is our bare minimum. So I still think there's potential here for some upside. Currently sitting about right there. Even if we're trading somewhere right in the middle, if you get that, it's about 6.5%, and then all the way up here is about 28%. So if we can see this number up here, I will take that 28% off the table and run until it pulls back. But for the time being, I'm gonna collect that dividend. It's a good dividend here. So probably some good news here that Kong had a good opening weekend, because it helps AT&T as well as AMC. AMC doing all right. All right, getting ready to test this upper VWAP here. We'll see if we can get a push above it. I wonder if at any point, yeah, we'll push above it. I think we get above it. You can see in the pre-market here, we pushed above it slightly and then pulled back. So we may be testing it. We might get we might find some resistance on this upper VWAP, but again, with that price target being set at $13, I think that we get up. I really think that today we get up to 11, especially seeing the volume that has stepped in here for the day comparatively to last week. I think that we're gonna get let's see if we get rejected here by this upper VWAP. Yeah, touched it, kind of pulled back slightly. See if we can get a push above it and stay above it for a little bit. Currently in oversold according to the RSI. Looks like we might just get rejected by it. Sorry, guys. Man, still sore from last week. It was a good long weekend. Nothing too crazy going on here. Take a look at Harley real quick. Hit 4079. So, actually, man, when we hit that 4070, so I think this is wrong here. Let me check. It's definitely wrong because you guys can see here it shows our dollar cost average of 40.02. I knew that earlier, that percentage didn't sound right. And it's showing we're at a net loss here, even though we're above that, which we should be in the profit. So realistically, where we are at, and I don't know why it does this on Thinkorswim. This is the one thing about Thinkorswim that I just have an issue with. It's done this with a couple of positions. Currently 40.85 is our dollar cost average on Harley Davidson. So it looks like we're down $14 net. So that the number is right here. However, this number is wrong. So we got to take that number out. I don't know why it shows that. So looking pretty decent here on AMC. I'm going to just go back because we're starting to move upwards and getting ready to test this 1044. And with us being in oversold territory, I think we might get rejected by it. Currently sitting slightly above the upper VWAP here. And see what happens when we hit. There's 1044. I'll leave it there. See if we get a push above it. Why did it move to 1045? No, 1044. All right, so we touched 1044. See if we're going to get rejected. Actually, maybe a time for us to pull back since we are in overbought territory. I don't know why I was get overbought and oversold mixed up. Overbought is the upper RSI, meaning there are a ton more buyers than there are sellers, and then vice versa once you hit this lower RSI indicator down here on the 30. So I got my parameter set between 70 up top and 30 down low, and overbought, more buyers than sellers. Oversold, more sellers than buyers. You guys get the picture there. So 1044 looking to be a level of resistance. Remember a few moments ago we took a look back and we said that 1044 was gonna be the next target for us to push above, and once we got to push above that, we're good. We'll start testing that 1050 and above range. So little pullback, which is fine. We need to have the pullback, but we need to be setting higher highs and higher lows. And in which case, if you're watching the pullback, higher high, there's the low, higher low, higher high, higher low, there's the low, higher high, higher low because there's the low. And then right here we kind of trade sideways just a little bit, almost forming a triple top here. Not really, little George W as trades would say, but not quite getting the bump up there. We kind of pull back a little nasty right here, and then again we start to continue this run up here. So higher high, lower or higher than low, higher low than this low. Didn't quite get a push up, still weren't ready to pull back. A little consolidation, So I'd say that this is the pullback here, still above that, and again continue on upwards here. So as long as we continue to see this run up, we might see a little bit of a pullback here for just a couple more minutes, maybe a green candle in this next 1 minute, and then another red candle. I don't think we'll see any more than 3 red candles in a row for the time being. I think we're still on this trend upwards. However, we did just bump up, and let me zoom out. So you can see we're talking about here, this 1044 was the high of the pre-market on Friday. So that's kind of where I'm thinking that that was our resistance line right there. So as you can see, if you guys look all the way across line to line, 1044 it is. So once we push above 1044 and even hit 1045, you'll see that this is going to change and it'll move over here to 1045. Currently not there yet, but looks like we're getting there. So there's the 3. I think this one will be a green one. I don't think it'll be red. Could be whatever. You never know. We did trade just a little bit above the upper VWAP here, testing this SMA as the support level here, so potentially going to get a bounce off this SMA here. But we are trading above the middle VWAP, so that is a good sign. So still need to come down a little bit to equal ourselves out. I mean, you can stay in overbought territory for quite some time. However, it will pull back. I mean, as you guys can see, once we start to reach it, it tends to pull back fairly quickly. Shoot, let me do that from here. It's only about 5 bars, 4 bars. I don't know why. Let me just do wait on here so it doesn't get cut off. For some reason it's getting cut off. So that's within 2 or 3 minutes there. So it kind of ran up and pulled back very quickly. That was early on though, so you guys just take that. Just forget about that. That's super early on in the morning here, and as you guys know, the first opening few minutes are pretty volatile. So again, looking to find some support here on the SMA. Looks like at some point we will start to trade lower than the SMA, just seeing as how we are still trying to pull back, but we're still in overbought territory. So potentially going to trade here for a little bit, maybe even a little bit more of a pullback, or this thing kind of trades sideways to kind of balance out its buys and sells for a little bit. And let's take a look over here. Up about $10 a day on this contract here. We've got all the way until June 18th. It's a $40 strike price on AMC for June 18th. Currently down about $114 on this thing. I think I paid $165 for it. Currently sitting at $51. Wish I would have paid $51 and not $165. But it was around 2 weeks ago when we were having a very nice run up, 3 weeks ago or so. AMTX down about 75%. Hog up 53%. Sorry, not percent, cents. Speaking of cents, Sonic up about 4 cents. Rocket up 15. Hog 55. AT&T 21. 23, I'm sorry, as it was. And the old UPC up 12 cents. So potentially going to get some money back here. Hopefully one day soon. Not a lot in here, but as soon as we do, probably toss it over to AMC or something. Or we'll just use this money to do our day trades and our swing trades, our scalps, whatever you want to call them. And this is something we did not see last week, was this type barcoding here on UPC. And volume is back down to where it would be. So I don't expect this thing to really move at all from here. It'll probably stay in this range for quite some time. The way it's barcoding and seeing the amount of volume that stepped down. I mean, last week we're in the millions. Now we're under 30,000. So even on the tall candles there, it's 20,000. I mean, we're almost, yeah, we're under 10,000 here. If we were to go back to last week, you can see when we started to open in here, that's 1 million. That's 673,000, 700, 1.5, 1.1. I mean, we're in the millions here. There's 2.4. And then we just tapered off slowly. So, yeah, very, very low on volume. Don't think this thing is going to move. I think it's going to find its new home here and consolidate here for quite a bit of time. So we may be stuck here for a while. But that's all right. Sensonics. This is the real barcoding stock. I mean, look at that. Picture perfect barcode. Anybody explain to me why it does that? I have no idea why it's just so flat and even, and barcode's just right in between these lines. Maybe just because it's 1 penny and it just changes that minuscule of a price just very slow. Currently sitting at 87 long at 375, down about $100 there in that position. So going back to AMC here, we have pulled back from overbought territory according to the RSI, getting some sell here, and I think we should start to find a little bit of support at some point, maybe even a little bit lower to bounce. What we want to see is we want to stay really above this area here at 10.15. Oh, and look at that. Matter of fact, I mean, you can see right here, there's our level of resistance. So I just kind of came back and found this number here, and boom, ended up being the level of resistance. So it was a support here. It did drop a little bit lower, but I think as long as we stay above this, we're fine. Pulling up the flex here, still trading within this these two trend lines on GameStop, GME. Nothing too crazy going on here. Just kind of trading for a little slow. With that being said, I think there is potential that we might see a lot more volume pop in this afternoon, right? Right about the 2 o'clock. We'll see if the hedgies start to short this thing again. Or if we're going to continue this trend upwards. Right now, I think it's fairly healthy. We're seeing, you know, some upwards momentum and some pullbacks. Trying to consolidate here and start making this run towards 1044. Again, 1044 is currently our level of resistance. Excuse me. So we'll see if we get a pop above it. We just hit 1049. Unless that was 1040.9, but I thought it said 1049. I guess it didn't. I swear it popped up. However, if it did, if that was the case and something was sold there, then it would have set the new high for the last 2 days. So we're not oversold yet. I think we'll test it again. Sorry, overbought. There we go. 1045. Set a new high, and we'll see if what's going to happen here. If we're going to get rejected because we're already in overbought territory. We didn't have a strong enough pullback or consolidation time. So anticipate this to start to pull back just slightly, and we'll consolidate here. I think we're going to find this a level of resistance for a little bit. maybe for about 20-30 minutes or so. We need it to kind of pull back a little bit more and consolidate for maybe a little bit longer. But we're still going. Fixing to test 1050, the nice whole round number. See if we get a pop above 1050. But at this point, where we are currently sitting, getting rejected by the upper VWAP. I think that we will get rejected at 1050 and then kind of pull back a little bit, maybe above the 1044. I think we're going to use this 1044 as a new level of support for the time being. So let's just go ahead and set a price level here, a little trend line. And what I did was I clicked the mouse wheel in, and it brings up my drawing tools. And right here you see with the dollar sign above the line, that's a price level. And what I'm going to do is go find 1044. And once I'm on 1044, I'm going to double click it, and there it goes. It sets a new trend line here, or a price line, whatever you want to call it. The tool is called price level, or I think it's price level. It could be price line. Yeah, price level. Maybe I'm just thinking of the company. But I think this is where we will have our new level of support, potentially kind of trading a little bit above it. But since we broke through it, I don't think it'll be that difficult for us to kind of keep this upward momentum and trade above it. We may just kind of trade flat and sideways for a few moments here before continuing on upwards to the next level of resistance, which is probably about 1050, 1056 it looks like, 1058 right there. 1052 back here, 1060, 1070. 1067 looks like a pretty solid level of resistance right here. We had this back on last Monday. It's around the 1066 to 1068 range, 1060 somewhere in there, 1065, 1066. Even a little bit lower than that, 1054 we found in the after hours. During the day, 1052. Anybody's ball game at this point. That 1050 range, though, somewhere around that whole number, whole half number, whatever you want to call it, is probably going to be where we find the resistance moving up. But I think we'll stay above 1050 for today. And ideally, I think that we are up above $11 to close out the day today. That's personally where I think. I think we have good volume compared to where we have been for the last week. I mean, we're seeing here 228, 264, 271, 412. These are all 1 minute. So I think we're going to have good volume continuing through the day. Even at this point, we're still looking fairly good in volume here, above 200,000. And holding above this support line here at about 1044. So respecting that, we are not currently in overbought territory anymore. Starting to consolidate. I'd like to see us consolidate for just a little bit longer before we get a bounce, just so that we have more fuel for the fire. And we'll see what happens. I have been watching AMC for most of the day here very closely. I think it's almost time for us to do a stock scan. Hey, good morning, Richard Sank. Appreciate you watching the stream. I don't know if you're still on. Sorry, I've got so many windows open between these two monitors here. I need a third monitor, and I need it kind of up here. Yeah, currently we're just watching AMC here, just practicing the technical analysis skills We set a trend line here at 1044. It looks as though we, as you can see earlier in the morning here, we use it as a level of resistance and we broke above it. Now we're using it as a level of support here. If we go back, you can see that in the pre-market hours on Friday, again, we had this as a level of resistance. So that's where we set that. We just took it back a couple of days here. I'll actually go ahead and get rid of it so we can see where the lines connect. And I'll reset it. 1044, boom, there we go. So as you can see back here on Friday pre-market, we pushed off of, got rejected by this level of resistance here and trended downward. Now we're breaking above it and we're starting to move back on our upwards trend here. Pulling back out to the 180 day, as you guys can see. We set some trend lines here at the low point back in early January to show where this thing has bounced off of, right? So we actually set this last week. We moved it around on Friday as we touched below it. However, we kept the original trend line here. And all we did was just kind of set it where we started and just kind of ran a trend line up through where we saw some bouncing points here and keeping it upwards there. We'll probably wait another day and then pull it back out. Actually, I can go ahead and extend this if I right click, go to activate drawing. Nope, maybe that's not it. Extend to the right. Boom, there we go. Look at that. So all I did was go to my trend line. I right clicked it. I went to extend to the right. You can extend it to the left. You can remove it, you can duplicate it, and you can activate it. When you activate it, you can move it around. However, I have not figured out how to move one angle of it, right? To keep it as a pivot point here and then pull it down, or make this the pivot point and then pull down from there. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm not certain. And then kind of the same here. I took this line. I don't like it necessarily. I'm going to extend it to the left. And there we go. Wow, how far did that extend? Oh, wow. All the way. All right, cool. I like it. I like it now. So, just taking a look. Looks like we're trending on this level and then, you know, coming down here. I don't know why we set the top one. I'm still learning the technical analysis here. But I don't know why we set a top line, and I don't think this top line is necessarily right. But I think we'll start to bounce within this range and then keep moving upward here. So I predicted last week that by Wednesday we would be at 1050. However, with the news, there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can see right around this range here. There's 1050 here right on our trend line. So I predicted by Wednesday we'd be at 1050. However, with the news this morning, two good things. One is that B. Riley upgrades AMC Entertainment Holdings to buy from neutral on potential benefit from industry projected resurgence. They raised their price target to $13 from $7. So massive jump there. About $8. Sorry, about $6 in a price jump there. And then somewhere down here, the Kong vs. Godzilla grosses $48.5 million over a 5-day period there, and that is for, I believe, just the U.S. alone. So some good news there. After the crap job that the media did last week, and they actually redacted or retracted or corrected. Where's that correction? From source, AMC might, in quotation marks, issue 500 million share offering. If you guys are following the stream this morning, we did go ahead and vote no. And I showed you guys how to do that. You basically just go into your email. I just went into my Yahoo Mail account. I searched AMC. It pulled up from my TD Ameritrade account, which is the platform we're using here, Thinkorswim. And I just followed the link in the email. Started the vote. I voted no, and then abstained from the other votes as I didn't know how they would affect me or the company. So I just abstained from those votes, but I did vote no for the 500 million share offering. And submit it. It literally takes about 30 seconds to do once you find the email. Finding the email is probably the longest part of the ordeal to vote no. And I'm going to look to see if you can vote multiple times if you have multiple brokerage accounts, which I think that you can. However, I am uncertain. Um, I think the date was March 11th, either 9th or 11th, for you to be able to vote. So if you held a position at AMC as of, I think it's March 9th or March 11th, one of those 2 days, you will have that right to vote, and you should have an email from your brokerage account. Check your junk mail. I just typed in AMC and mine popped up for me. The Robinhood one, I just looked for Robinhood stuff. It was a little bit harder to find. The TD Ameritrade one was a lot easier. So anyhow, I think we're gonna be okay. I think we pushed above this 1050 today. I really think once we get above 1050, I think we'll start making a run towards the $11 mark. And we just traded a little bit below here, our 1044 level of support here, which is fine. We needed a little bit of a pullback here. We needed to get below this RSI because we were in overbought territory. So I wanted to see us pull back a little bit more. I don't care too much about this 1044 line. It has been a strong level of resistance and support. Not too strong as we go back. You can see it's only like touched once there, and that was in the after hour. So nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. Not like it was super strong. It had been bouncing there for days or anything, or even multiple times, really just like that one time. And then again, this morning we found it and pushed us down. So I think we'll blow right through it again very easily and make that run up to 1050. My guess is if we go back a couple of days, you're going to see it's more than likely a 10, either I think 1050, but there's a couple of moments here. I mean, you can kind of see here, we're at that 1050 range. It's so hard to see, but you guys can see, there we go. Right around here, I mean, that's 1052. Again, we touched it here. And then here we found some decent support. I think, just that half number there, somewhere around 1050, I think is going to be our level of resistance moving forward. So once we start to test that, I think we'll see here. But I wanted to see us pull back a little bit on this RSI so that we have some more ability to have buying pressure step in. And I don't know that that's how that works, but in my mind, usually anytime you see a very low in the RSI, you have a long way to go before you reach that overbought territory. I mean, look how much we stepped up, I mean, from this time frame here. And if we were to go in here and look from down there all the way to where we started to reach oversold, that's 47 minutes here. So if we start to pull back a little bit more, we have more time to keep running up. At least that's my thought on it, and I could be completely wrong, but that's how I see it. Harley Davidson pulled back just slightly from where we're at. Currently sitting at $40.30. Rocket only up 2 cents from close yesterday, Friday. Sands up 6 cents. AT&T up 22 cents, and UPC up 16 cents. However, we already talked about UPC a couple times and how I think that it's going to trade sideways for a bit. I'm going to take a quick restroom break. I'm going to leave you guys on the chart here, and when I get back, we're going to do a stock scan to see some runners. A little late in the day for the runners. At this point, I imagine that anything that has ran has already started to taper off in volume, and it's kind of done. Currently almost 10 o'clock, so usually for that 10:30 range, I think that's when a lot of these runners kind of really die off. So we will look at the stock scan. I'll kind of show you newcomers how to go over it, just so I can show you my tool for scalping and potential day trade prospects on this Thinkorswim platform here. I'll be back in just a moment.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, I'm back. Made the switch to water from coffee this morning already. Getting ready for that probably noonish gym time, maybe 11:30 or so. Hit the gym. So see if we can get a break above 1044 and stay up there for a little bit. Use it a couple times to bounce off of, but just watch here. Let's see, we're gonna test it out here. Volume down, sub 200,000s right now. Getting close to that lunch hour for the East Coast. Currently 11 o'clock there. And usually we start to see some stuff kind of die down. It picks back up about 1 or 2. And then really starts to run for that power hour at 2. So what we're going to do here is take a sec and we're going to go to the scan. Make sure you guys got this good. Bring my OBS up. Alright. So up here on TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim, this is a totally free app you can download. I think you just type in Thinkorswim, you'll pull it up in Google. It's also on the phone, a little bit harder to use on the phone. You can use it on the iPad. I have used on the phone. It doesn't look as great because there's a lot of information here and the phone's kind of small. iPad, it could work as well. However, computer, desktop, laptop, whatever is the easiest. Download that anyhow, and it'll link your account. So you're going to go to scan up here, and then I have these parameters already set. They save these parameters once you scan, and I just leave them up here. From a price point of $5 to $50, a volume range of 300,000 to 200 million, and then percentage change from 0% up to 1,000%. Hit the scan button. It'll pull the stocks, and I have it separated here with the highest percentage gapper or runner at the top here. So ACY looks like it's up 70%, up $6.83 from its close on Friday. Currently sitting at $16.54. Maybe getting a little pullback here. Let's take a look at ACY, figure out why they're running what they are. So ACY, we'll go to the analyze. ACY. Arrow Century Core. I feel like we've pulled this up before, but maybe we haven't. Arrow Century Core, also known as ACY, which I'll refer to as ACY from here on out, acquires used regional aircraft and aircraft engines for lease to regional carriers all over the world. The company segment is leasing of regional aircraft to foreign and domestic regional airlines. The business of the company is managed by Jet Fleet Management Corp, JMC, an integrated aircraft management, marketing, and financial business. JMC is a subsidiary of Jet Fleet Holdings, JHC. The company has been engaged in the business of investing in used regional aircraft equipment leased to foreign and domestic regional air carriers. The company owns regional aircraft and engines, which are leased to customers under triple net leases with terms that are less than the useful life of the assets. So going back to the charts here, we already talked about percentage, but we can do it again. From opening down there to its high of about 82% here. And let me zoom in here. Look at the news here. Looks like they were halted a couple times this morning already, and just a few days ago, looks like they started this run a few days ago on April 1st. I'm not seeing any company-specific news to justify the price action in the low float stock. So low float means volume is potentially very low. Decent volume, 200,000, 500,000, 438,000. Not sure why it's up. I don't see any news other than at some point it started to make a run last week from its low of $4 up to its high of $17.25, with no news to drive that price action. Let's go back to the 180. hit highs back here about 33, high of 38. Traded at a low of $1.50 back in the fall of last year. So we saw a push over this little run up we had here. Very quickly pulled back. However, we're making a few days. So we watch. There's 1, 2, and a pullback. See 1, 2. Potentially this thing could keep running, or it's almost at that point to where it may start to pull back. Anyhow, at this point, it's got the volume with no news. We don't know why it's running. Would have been a good opportunity to scalp this thing. We saw the pullback. You see it kind of run up. It starts to consolidate. Shows signs of reversal. So somewhere in here, if you get filled, you've got potential from here to here, which is about 12%. So not bad. Could have made even more. You never really know what these things are going to do, especially with no news driving it. It's probably one that we may have stayed away from because we don't know the reasoning why it's going up. So that's ACY. Going back to our stock scan here, and it's up currently 62. So it's having a little bit of a pullback. CEMI, Kimbio Diagnostics, up 54%, $1.90 from its close on Friday. Currently sitting at 543, a little bit low on the amount. And would you look at that? God damn. T-Cat. If you guys follow, you know. We watch T-Cat quite often here, ever since its run up a couple weeks ago, and I'll keep CEMI. We'll take a look at that one first, and then we'll go to T-Cat. So hit a high of $6.09 in the pre-market here. We'll see what this one does. First off, the news. Here's an article here. Okay, so this is good news here. Alright, so CEMI or Kim Bio Diagnostic shares are trading higher after the company announced the commercial launch of a test to differentiate between COVID-19 and the flu. Something we've needed a long time ago, frankly. So that's very good news. And it looks like the news started back here on April 1st. So this thing, if you were watching it from that far, would have been a good point. Let me see if I can pull up a 5-day here. That's 5-day 15. We'll do 5-day 5. I really wish it showed me what the first was. Last Thursday. Sorry about that. So going over here, yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of a bump here, but kind of traded about $3, so 100% profit here. I think this may continue to run up here. Good news. Take a look at volume. Yeah, volume's looking good. Tapered off just slightly for the last couple minutes here, but we saw it again. Volume stepped back up to run this thing up. Potential is here. We'll see where this thing kind of consolidates at. If it consolidates here, and then we're looking for signs of a reversal, which would be a couple candles closing up higher than where it consolidates. Somewhere in here, say you get filled somewhere around this range here, and it either is going to test here at 2.27, or it could run up and test up there somewhere about 3, 4. What do we say? The high was 6 something here, so there's potential there for about 8% or something like that. 609, yeah. So still kind of trading down. Not one we would be looking to enter a position into at the moment. Going over to good old friend T-Cat here. Already making its pullback now. Run up again. Let's see what kind of news T-Cat had. And yeah, we've kind of noticed this. That's 325. So I believe this is one that had no news, but there was linked to it being an NFT play, and NFTs are hot right now. Man, what was the other one? So I've got a couple in the watch list. I know DLPN is another one. See if that's actually made a run. It did on Friday. Nothing really going on here. Go to our 2021 watch list, and I want to say CSCW here, Color Star Technologies, is a possible NFT play. However, super low right now at $1.56. Currently $1.64, or yeah, $1.64. So hasn't really made any splash here. But let's see, back on March 30th, Color Star Technology plans non-fungible token for entertainment industry stock jump. So this could be the play. Oh man, what's going on there? There we go. Could be a play. I don't know. I mean, if you got a couple bucks lying around, could pop it over here. If they get some news about one of their NFTs, maybe it could jump up and you can see some good potential of this thing to run. I don't think it's going to run up like TCAT did. TCAT, I mean, you can see here $74 all the way from $2.30. I don't think it would necessarily be as high as TCAT. However, DLPN, it could resemble a DLPN where it ran up from $3 to 38, or where's the other one? There was another one I think that I had seen where it ran up to like $14. So potential is there for this one. I mean, even in the range that it's in currently, if you were to enter position here about this $1.66, you're looking at 61% there, 60%. I mean, even down here, there's 36%. Just to get back to this range here, I think that maybe with some news on something else NFT related, with NFT still being a hot play, it could potentially pop up a little bit. So I like this. If you got a couple dollars, I mean, that you're willing to gamble on this stock, I mean, you could be bag holding this thing for a little bit. You never know. I want to say there was some news with them doing something with Steve Aoki. As you guys may know, my introduction into NFT, here it is. Okay, so Color Star Technology invites DJ Steve Aoki to its entertainment sharing platform on April 23rd, 2021. So this could be the news here. Teams up with Steve Aoki to create one of the most popular online live shows on April 23rd. So I think this could be potential here. The closer we get to April 23rd, or on April 23rd, or thereafter shortly, if that is a huge hit, I think that this thing could gap up here or run up. This could gap up to here, but I think it could continue to run. If on April 23rd, that's good. So, matter of fact, we may be entering a position here sometime this week if we can close out some of our other positions that we're bag holding on. May even be willing to take a loss here. For those of you that are interested in SNDL, I'm bag holding over on another platform. Not looking too good. Down quite a bit in it. So yeah, not looking too hot here. Whatever, it is what it is. American Airlines, wow, up to $24, hit 26.09. So I did scalp this back in February at some point. Made a little bit, nothing crazy. Did scalp for a couple thousand, or with a couple thousand. I didn't make a couple thousand. That would have been nice. Ford currently sitting at 1250. FSR is another one we like to watch. I don't see it. There it is, 1626. So we talk about it quite often. Low 1582. We thought that if it gets lower than this, it may be a good time to buy. If you guys don't know what Fisker is, check out the Fisker Ocean. I'll just show you guys real quick. We've done this almost every time we've had a stream here. Fisker Ocean is going to be an all-electric SUV. All-wheel drive version, having over 300 horsepower. 9.8 touchscreen in the dash. There's also talks of a heads-up display that's going to be on the windshield, and they have a lease. I think it's like a 30,000 mile free service, free maintenance per year, so 30,000 a year, and it's under $40,000. So cool looking SUV. You guys go check it out. That's the Fisker Ocean. So I think this could be a potential, but it's a 2022 model vehicle, so it will not release until probably the earliest in the fall, October at some point, or at the latest sometime January, February. But you never know with EVs, could get pushed back. I did see a commercial yesterday for VW EV. So that market, I don't know, might be a tough market to break into. They're based out of Huntington Beach, California. Is it Huntington, or it is what's the other, Manhattan Beach? Manhattan Beach. So based out of Manhattan Beach, California here. So we like to watch Fisker. So if you guys have watched the channel at any point over the last few weeks, this is a play my brother pointed out to me, thinking about movies, is CNK Cinemark, right? So Cinemark making its run here. We're going to pull out to the 180 here just so you guys can see we are heavily invested into AMC. However, we try to go over every option. We're here to make money. So what I have here, actually I'm going to have to go to like a 1-year chart, maybe even a 3-year chart to actually show you guys here what we're talking about here. And we've got a couple of trend lines set, and currently where we stand here, we had the pullback. We think we can get back up to this point. So at the very least, right here, you're at least looking for some profit between here and here, which is only about 1, 2, 3%, whatever, right? So we're not even talking about this. What we're talking about here is pretty big bug just flew in here. Sorry. What we're talking about here is our bare minimum, our BEAR minimum. I like to call it bare minimum because for me, this is where I think the lowest point, right? So even where we traded through here before the pandemic, I even set it even lower because it was right before the pandemic hit to right about there. So I've got this trend there. So I think the bare minimum of something like this, get rid of that there, from current standings is about 38%. And then you could say bull maximum somewhere way up here, 43.50, that's about 91%, but I think it's more likely somewhere where it's trading in there in the range. So I kind of think that somewhere in between, right? We found some support there. I think somewhere in there, you could get filled, or you could get your sell order placed, and that's about 71% here. So I think 38 to 71 is your potential here on CNK. I think it's very good play, an alternative to AMC. However, we are fully in on AMC, and we don't currently own any position in Cinemark. However, we may be moving over with Hog once I get close at a Hog. Another one we want to look at is CCL. This one is a risky play here. Very risky, very risky, very risky. The reason being that, and let's see if there's any news to change that. So, the CDC came out and said that they were not going to allow cruises, although I don't know what they had to do with cruises. But anyhow, something about cruises not going to be able to set sail until November, so that really took a hit. And this was probably back right here as it was trending back upwards, and it took a pretty big hit here. Was it that long ago? No. Sorry, this is like way macro here. So it was somewhere in here. You see this big red candle right here, right? So somewhere around there, possibly. That's 322. So yep, right here. Anyhow, here's our case for the bare minimum here. Looking at about 42%, and then somewhere in this range here, right before the pandemic, we traded up to about 85%. So somewhere in this range of 40 to 85, we think is a good case for your bare minimum, and for your bull maximum up to its all-time high there on the 3-year period. Looking at a potential of 140% profit here. So a lot of profit in CCL. We don't currently own a position here. We think it is a good stock to look out for, along with C and K. So I suggest you guys add those to the top of your watch list. CNK and CCL for their long-term turnarounds. As you guys know, with this channel, we're all AMC all day. And look at that. All right, we found the break here. We broke above the 1050 and we're starting to move. We are currently in bot territory according to the RSI here. Probably going to be making a little bit of a pullback and see where this run can go. Like I said earlier this morning, I think we pushed above $11 today based on the news that we were given with the box office numbers and B. Riley upgrading their PT to $13. So looks like making a bit of a run. Finding a new high here. Definitely will use this 1050 as our level of support, I believe. So I can go ahead and get rid of this 1044. I think that it's no longer valid for the moment, and I think 1050 somewhere in this range here, 1049. What did that actually say? 1049. All right, I'll leave it at 1049. I think that range right now is going to be our level of support if we bounce back down, but I honestly think that we get above $11 today and that we stay above $11 today. Kind of float maybe just under, maybe just over, but I think that we will go above it. As you guys can see here, I've got another price level here, or a trend line here set at about 1160 something. I think that's another 1159. I think that's another point of resistance here that eventually we will touch and hit. But we're getting ready to move up to $11 and stay there. Volume started to step back in as this thing is climbing here. Looking good. Pull up the flex grid so you guys can see GME. GME doing the same thing, making this little breakout here. A little bit slower than AMC, I think, but maybe this is just because it's a higher dollar amount, so it doesn't look as steep. When you see this run up $1, this has already run up like $5 or $6, so that's why it looks like it's a little bit, slower. But very similar in price action here. Let's just pull up from this bar here. Let's pull up from this bar here. There we go. Should be very close there. All right. That's pretty close. Close enough. Getting ready to test. Still in overbought territory. GME actually through most of the day here has only reached this overbought territory twice and not really, just barely touched it, and then kind of got rejected here. When I say reject, just kind of started to sell and balance itself out. So looking a little bit stronger on the GME side. However, we do like this. We kind of thought today this is where it was going to be. Trending upwards a little bit quicker than I thought, but I knew with the news that we would get a good push this week. So we'll see where we end up. Depending on how the squeeze potential looks here, and let me pull up. All right, so here's Fintel here, guys. You know about Fintel and all the negative that goes with it. However, as of 2 hours ago, they're showing that the short shares available is 200,000 and their short borrow fee rate is 1.8. So kind of down here. This is a good thing to see that 200,000. We're way down from the million to the 2 million. So or 1.5, somewhere in that 1.5 that we have typically been last week. So down quite a bit here. Short volume ratio is at 22%, and we're gonna go over here to this other. It's this one here. It's FinViz. See what this shows here. This one's a completely different format here, so it's hard for me. I don't use this one very often, but I think this one has more accurate. So, and did this go up? I feel like this went up. I thought it was at 480, now it's at 491. Could be wrong. I have to go back and check some streams from last week. Anyway, they're showing their shares outstanding at 491 million, whereas AMC is saying their shares outstanding are 450 million. So I don't know. Short float 21%. Short ratio here 0.28. Mean target price 344. Okay. Cause it's showing its relatively strength index RSI is at 51. Showing it's at 1038. It already no. See, all right. So that's a little bit slow. We're making the push. Let's go. $11. Starting to really climb up here. Massively overbought right now. There's the 11. We will probably get rejected and make a little bit of a pullback here, but I don't anticipating us pulling back all the way to 1050. I think somewhere in the middle. And we're still running. Still running here. And this is what we like to see. Up about $522 on the day in AMC here. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Currently up $715 overall. Still down from where we were at about a couple weeks ago when we were up $1,700. So down about $1,000 from there. However, that's what we want to see. We're getting back to that point, right? We had our pullback. Now let's make our run again, and let's get past that 14.5 mark. Get past that 14.25 mark, and keep running up. Stay above 14, and get that run up to 20. So we'll see if we get a pullback here. Still really in overbought. We are trading above the upper VWAP and the SMA, and are doing so very nicely here. Continue this run here. Let's look at the active trader here and see what's popping up here. I think there had been some new DTCC rules enacted here, and I don't know if they've taken place, but I know there were some videos out. If you guys like this information, just go to our content, or you want this information, go to Jeffrey Forbes, his YouTube channel. Trades may talk about it. I know Jeffrey Forbes does a couple of videos on this new DTCC ruling. I think New York Angela might have done a video on it. Couple of others out there have done videos on it, and man, we might start testing this 1160 very soon here. And this is the volume we want to see here. We're in the millions now. I was going to go ahead and go to the gym, but with this thing running the way that it's running, I don't think I'm going anywhere, to tell you the truth. So we're going to start seeing this pullback now. Potentially found its level of resistance right here at 1125. So not doing too bad here. As you guys can see, the sell walls aren't as large. They're not in the 400s like we saw before. They're still here. Starting to drive the price down now. See if we find some resistance, support here at 11. Looks like we broke 11. I'm thinking we don't pull back any lower than 1085. That's just my guess. I think 1085 is our support. And I'm gonna start getting rid of some of these olders. I don't think these levels, I don't think we need those anymore. I don't have any set down there. I don't think we need this 1051 anymore. I truthfully think that now we're going to be floating in this 1085 to $11 range. Somewhere in here. I think this is our range. Now we're starting to see the sell walls here step in. There we go. Look at that. 800 at 11, 890, 889, 865. Oh, wow. All right. I don't know if that got taken off or somebody bought those. That was a lot of shares. I'll keep the active trader up for a little bit so we can see what's coming through. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. I think that each one of these represents 100 shares, right? So 18 is 1,800 shares. You guys get the hint there, 30, 3,000, 60, 6,000, 700, 1,700, 2,000. So looks like we made our own support. Still in overbought territory here at the moment. Going to be pulling back. Looks like it made a little level of support here at 1097. So we'll see. I think its lowest is at 1085. Probably set one here. Let's set 1096 and see what that does. I think somewhere in here. Probably going to go ahead and get rid of this one too. I don't think we need that one anymore. I think we're good right here. And I don't think I have any up higher. I think I took everything off of this. Let's look at the 180. I've got some 3-year stuff set on here for some potential runs. So, I mean, man, that's pretty steep here. What we're going to do, as a matter of fact, let's get rid of this trend line here. Let's get rid of that one. Let's set some new trends here. No, I don't like that. Let's go from here. Yep, I like that one. Oh, didn't set it. Alright, set it that time, and I don't know what this one, guess we can set it there. Oh heck, I didn't even go back all the way this far. Which is fine because I don't really like this. If you guys follow the stream, you'll know that I really, when I'm doing when I'm analyzing AMC, I kind of take this out of it. Um, the Wall Street bets meme stock saga that was going on here. I just kind of take this out because it's kind of like an anomaly, right? It's not. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that happened, and I don't think that I should necessarily represent what's going on here. Um, to its point, but this, however, I think is good. I can leave that. I mean, it can kind of it continues up a little bit here. I'll just extend this to the left, and we'll leave it like that. And it kind of runs through there, so I think that's a good spot here. See, so this is on the what is it, on the 180? So I don't even know what I was looking at. Oh, it was like on the 3-year, but the time frames were different. So you can see here, I mean, we don't even touch the line, so I kind of don't like this. I like the other one, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this one, and then I'm just going to set a new one here. I mean, we could set it there just because we saw how low it got, but I think that that's fake news, so we'll leave it right there so that you guys can see here what's going on. I think that we start to continue up throughout, and we're already in that 11 range, so it's kind of about like where we were at. I thought Wednesday was going to be the day. If you guys watched the streams from last week, I talked about Wednesday being the day that we hit above 1050. But today was the day. We had some good news. B. Riley upgrading their price target to $13 definitely helped us out. And then the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, the box office numbers helped us out. We talked about that on Friday, that would potentially help us out and get us a boost, and that we wouldn't see anything. I didn't think we were going to see anything on Friday really happen. I think it was going to be this week that we actually see some movement here. So right on target here with where I think. So, and here we are. All right, using this level of support, I can get rid of this one now. If we start to trade below that 1085 range, may be a range to look for another level of support. If you guys are looking to, at this point, buy in, I know, you know, you may think like, oh, man, you know, well, maybe not now you're thinking that because of where we were at the end of last week, but at some point, you know, we're up those $13, $14, you're like, man, it's kind of a late, you know, to buy in. It's never too late to buy in. Just buy in on the dips. Just wait for the dip. It'll always have pullbacks, right? So if we do break below this level of support, I think the nearest level of support will be about 1085. So keep that in mind, somewhere in the 1080 range. I don't think we're going to drop anywhere below 1050 for quite some time, if at all, again. We may never see 1050 again. You never know. The media has really been putting out the hit pieces on AMC. I mean, now this thing is running, is there going to be any news that pops off today? We were watching the level 2s here to see what was going on. And sell walls weren't as large as what we had seen. Picked up a little bit. Either that or, man, the buyers are just moving in here because they know a value here. If the price target's from B. Riley set at 13 and you're getting it for 11, I mean, volume has definitely stepped in. On this run up here, you see the volume was over 1 million. At the highest, it was 1.3 million on the day. Last minute was 447,000, and then we kind of tapered down just you know, from this run up here. So tapered off a little bit. Actually, a lot of volume for this early on, in my opinion. Normally we'll see this volume probably after lunch, so good to see here. I think this is our new level support here, though, about the 10 to 1096. I mean, sorry, the 11 to 1096 range, and we'll keep running up here. Looking like 1125 going to be our point of resistance for right now. And we'll get up to test 1160.59. It's where I have our next gap up once we get past 1125, I think this 1169 range is probably our next level of resistance. I think by the end of the week we will be above 12. As you guys can see up here on the top left, our options contract is up $15 on the day. Currently sitting at $56, so we're still down about $109 on this contract here. So up 15 on the day, not too bad. Anything else moving here? Harley at 40.50. AT&T up 20 cents. So Harley looking pretty good. Maybe within the next couple of days we can get. So I can pull this back here. Let me see. Where's old Harley? I really want to dump this stock and put all this into another position here. I've held on to this for so long. I just think there's probably a better price point to buy in. I mean, I guess I could take this line here, but I think we'll get back up here to this 43, and I think I can dump my shares off again. Only holding 42 at a dollar cost of 40.85, I believe. This is wrong, as you guys can see. We're above 40.02, and it's saying I have a net loss here. This is not the right number. I don't know why it does this. Current actuality, the number is 40.85. Moving up, and we have been moving up for quite a few days here after they set a price target of, I believe, $43 here last week on Harley, and 45. So Baird 45 from 38, and Wedbush 43 from 42. So a little conservative from Wedbush, but still gonna keep moving up. And this is what I think you're gonna see with AMC here. You see, we're just moving up. And this is on a 4-hour time frame, 4 days now. I think you're going to see that, although this had a lot farther to go than where AMC currently has to go to get to its price target. And that's from one, I don't even know what you call it, from one news article there. Anyhow, going back to AMC, currently sitting at 1110. And its support level here. Not doing too bad. I'm going to leave you guys here while I take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Mic off. Mic on.
Sorry for the absence. Grabbed an orange. Got to get that daily dose of vitamin C. Currently still just watching the price action here on AMC. Volume still doing okay. Tapered down just quite a bit from its little run up it had. Pull up the level 2s here again, just to see what kind of sell walls we're looking at here. And there you can see we found our level of support just now. Big sell. And bounce right off of it. So gonna respect that line that we set there. I think that's $10.96 we set that support at. Looks like we're gonna continue to respect that here. We'll see how we close out this minute. I'm gonna pop the mic off while I eat this orange so you guys don't hear it.
Mic off. Mic on.
Alright, getting ready to test this level of support once again. And actually breaking below it this time. And looks like we're going to continue to stumble down. 1090, 1089, 1088. 1087. 1086, 1084. Wow, big jump there. 1082. So remember earlier we were talking about 1085 being that other level here. Starting to push down quite a bit here actually. So a little surprise here that we didn't respect that 1085 or 1086, somewhere on here. You can see it was a little level of support there. We got a little bounce off of it. Again, nothing is always perfect. We'll see where we end up. But, you know what? It's kind of a pullback that we did need to happen. Looks like investors are starting to see that was a good potential to buy down here at this sub 1080 mark and are popping it up. So, as you can see there, we closed out about 1081, 1082. So, yeah, right on 1082. So just a little bit below the 1085 mark that we were talking about earlier, but very, very close. Couple cents off. So not bad. Look for us to test this level here. We did find some support here a little bit. This is just like kind of an area of around. I mean, we're still in some uncharted waters for the time being. We could probably go back way back. However, I think we're in new territory here. Sell walls at 1092, 1091. Just need a little bit more buying power to step into this thing to push it over back up to test at 11, and we're getting up there. 1093. 1092. So look like we're going to hover in this range for just a little bit, but as you can see, we cooled off just a little bit according to the RSI. Nothing too crazy. Just pulled slightly back here. Still watching it. Still seeing what it's doing. Getting ready to test. And looks like we'll get rejected this time. But again, I wanted to see this RSI cool off. I mean, we were massively overbought here. So we need to see quite a bit of a pullback here. And I'm thinking within, you know, we may start to chill out a little bit around this range. Again, at some point here, people are going to start taking lunch. And it's 11:47 on the East Coast. So typically a time that we'll start to see some of the volume taper down. And maybe this was just a kind of a push to get it to cool off a little bit. So that these guys could go to lunch. You know, they started filling up these sell walls and drove the price down a little bit. Maybe they sold off a bunch of stock here, shorted this thing a little bit. Starting to get that run, but volume is still very much in here. I mean, we're looking at 430,000, 265 on the last minute. The minute before was 430, and that was on a green. On the buy here, or on the sell here, that was looking at 921. So we did see a couple times here on this run up, and then the sell here over 1 million. So it's what we want to see. So volume's still looking really good today. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna be able to, if they take a lunch and then they come back. This thing could be at $11.50, $12 by the point they get by the time they get back from lunch. I think that they will start to push it back down again at some point, but at some point, man, they're gonna have to stop shorting this thing. They could have been covering some older shorts here, and that helped drive the price up. I don't think this is all retail investment here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up. We had this pulled up last week. It's from Fintel, but is the institutional ownership here. I'm going to take a look here. Looks like we're above. We'll see if we close out before. Got a sell wall there at $11. See if we can get a push above. All right. We close above. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the active trader off. I'm going to pull over this Fintel institutional ownership so we can take a look here. See if anything has changed. I just opened this up off screen here. And looks like Private Advisor Group at some point closed out of their position. I believe we went over this last week here. Yeah, we talked about the Goldman Sachs 12,000 shares opening this position here. Mainstay opening this position with 22,000 shares. And we talked about how no one, all the way from back here when these were reported in February, had closed a position here. So green is opening a position, red is closed a position. So no one for this entire time had closed a position out. And we talked about these are just at least when this was filed. So these are the filings, and it'll probably say as of a date of like January or February. So shoot, let me go back here. It's not really what I wanted to do. I don't know why I pulled that up. Let me just, yep, institutional owner, this one. Go here, see if this will show, so there's only 1,000 shares. At $4 million. Whoa, 4 million. See, something's not right here. All right, so these are, I think these 13F filings are just rolling in. As you can see, we'll just call it SAM. SAM Investment Counsel LLC has filed a 13F disclosing ownership of 0 shares of Entertainment Holding with total holdings value at $0 as of 12/31/2020. Previously filed on November 10th of 2020 that they had 1,000 shares worth $4 million. That's what this says. I don't think that that's right. $4 million. There's something off there. Yeah, something way off. So I don't really respect this. I don't know where they get this number from. Maybe these are different kind of shares. It doesn't say. It says Class A common stock. So I don't know. I don't really trust too much into this. I look at the dates and the position size, but I don't really look at the dollar amount here. So we go back. So Chalkin has had a position size in here for a while. If I was going back, I want to say that they opened one a while back that was actually fairly large. You see here, old Citadel put calls. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep saying that. Put options here. I don't know why it throws me off. Placing puts over for Citadel here. They don't say how many because I don't pay for Fintel. I don't see the Chalkin in here. It's probably been open for a while. Just trying to scroll through and see if I can see where. We looked at this already a while back, so I think all this stuff we kind of looked at. These are the only new ones here, and then this company had closed their position. This is a new one here. See, I don't trust this. I don't know what's going on here. Average share price of $32.25, 32,000 shares. Let's just go ahead and click on this. RVW Wealth. RVW Wealth has filed a 13F disclosing ownership of 32,488 shares of AMC Holdings Incorporated with total valued at $1 million as of March 31st, 2021. They filed previous 13F disclosing 29,656 shares of AMC Entertaining, blah, blah, blah. So the dollar amounts are wrong. Don't look at the dollar amounts. Look at the dates and look at the amount of shares. The shares are right. So it looks like they increased their position size here. I'll give you the exact count here. And I'll do it on the calculator just so it's right. And I don't take up too much time. $2,832 shares they've added to their position size here. So this is reported on March 31st. And previously they held from January 11th, they disclosed they had 29. So between January 11th and March 31st, they added another, 2,000, 3,000 shares, somewhere around there. Let's call it 2,500 shares. So pretty decent position size that they added within the last few months. I don't think we looked here. This says, let's see, Invesco reports 3.45 decrease in ownership of AMC. Says here they had 72,000 shares as of January 31st. And previously they had 74,646 shares as of December 30th, 2020. So we see, okay, so in between December and January 31st, looks like they reduced their position size 3.4%, which seems probably about a good time to make some capital there, take that money and run, right? Because if we were to go back here, all right, we did get a push above our level resistance here. Kind of trading above there for quite a few moments. Let's go back here and look. January. So as of January 31st. Oh man, I hate when this does this. All right, so there's February 1st. As of this time, they'd closed. So anywhere in here, they probably made a ton of money here just closing out. And they didn't close their entire position size. Just keep that in mind. When we look at what they did, right? Let me just open it back up here. Close out of this. Open this back up. We were over here looking at the institutional filings from 13Fs. There we go. I don't know why it takes a second to load here. And this is from, is it this one? Or is it this one? It's this one. So, all right. This is one thing to keep in mind here. This PRF, I think they call it something different here. I don't know why it's, yeah. Anyhow, Invesco FTSE RAFI. They decreased their position size here, but this is the one thing to take account of, right? So they held 74,646 as of December 30th, 74,000 shares. And then as of January 31st, 72,000. So on that run up, they did not sell their entire or even half or even 10% or even 5% of their position size from 74 down to 72, only a couple thousand shares here. And this again between that range of December 30th and January 31st. And then back to the charts here, you guys see around this January area here, it ran up and they didn't sell here. Even when it started to pull back, they didn't sell. They didn't sell a lot. They only sold a couple thousand. They still had a ton. They know something else is happening here. So I'm going to go back to the 1 day, 1 minute, and just take a look at today where we stand. I think it's going to start tapering off here. And volume's still very much in it here. Last minute or current minute 199. Last minute about the same 202. Before that 283. So very good compared to where we were at last week, what we've seen. I like to see the volume here. I like to see it. I think it's good that we're keeping it up. I figured that we would, once we got down here, we kind of stayed on here for a while. Then we had this massive push up and this big buy. Currently in good range here, 30 to 70 on the RSI. Starting to see some more buying power step into this thing and start to move this thing back up. We can test at 1125 here very soon, I hope, and then on up to this 1160 range. So if you guys were watching the stream early this morning, you know that we said we would close above 1050 and that I projected us to close above 11 today. Last week on Friday, if you're watching, I said we'd close above 1050 by Wednesday. We got a good push up today with the B. Riley price target being set to $13, so that helped boosted us up over that 1050 range. And this morning I thought that we would be above 11, but definitely above 1050, and we hit both those targets. So I think we will close above 11 today. I think we will probably trade very close to 11. Depends. Volume depends on what volume does. It's about lunchtime here or there on the East Coast, so I think volume will start to taper off slowly here, and we'll trade just about this range here between this 1085 and 1106 range. I think we'll trade within here, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, but I think we trade within this range here for the next hour to 2 hours. So I'm going to take a quick look at some of the other positions we're holding now. Today's mostly just been an AMC day as we are on our way to the moon here. So I hope that nobody was worried. Again, we're up about $496 on the day in AMC, and up about $700 overall, down about $1,000 from where we were at 2 weeks ago. But we weren't scared. We held strong, and it's kind of where we're at. So We're going to keep on holding. Hopefully some of you guys and girls and others that were in above this range are starting to find some relief now that you're getting back to close to being neutral. So, and then even more so in the green, some of you that bought, above 1050 maybe. The whole way down, we try to average our position. We're averaging up, but we try to buy. We knew it was a good price point. It was a little tasty, so we started averaging to our position size, and we just kept doing it. Nothing else really standing out to me other than the hog here. All right, hitting 40.84, and we should be just about net neutral here. Currently down 58 cents in our position here. So again, right now we have our limit set, our sell order set to $43.20. This has been a long time coming here, about 3 years in the making. This was just most of our portfolio back in the day was all dividend and long-term investments. So it's time to get out of this and put this this money somewhere else. It's not a lot. Ooh, we're close. We're close, seeing net neutral here. Let me see what we're talking about here. It's about $1,700 over in Harley. So we're gonna wait. Currently, our dollar cost average here per share is $40.85. I know it says 40.02, but you can see here we're still negative, so this doesn't mean a thing. We are set for about 5% profit. That's what we want, even though this has just been a super long-term play. We got dividends out of it over the last few years. Proud holder of the Harley-Davidson stock. It's okay. I still own their motorcycle, and a lot more invested in that motorcycle than I do have in this this stock here, this position. So what we're gonna do is we've got it set. You can see up there we've got our sell order set. We're gonna let it hit. Whenever it hits, it hits. I think it'll be in the next couple weeks here. As soon as it does, we are looking to either add to our AMC position, or we still want to diversify. We don't want to put everything all in one. I mean, I have faith in AMC. However, I don't have faith in the system, and they've let the media and the market makers and the hedge funds and whoever and the brokerages like Robinhood manipulate GameStop and AMC and meme stocks this entire time. So I have to cover, I have to do a CYA or CMA. Got to cover my. And I'm liking. I don't think CCL is the play here. It could be. I just don't know. I mean, there's potential there, a lot of potential there, but also if this thing goes belly up, it could be very, very bad. I think CNK is probably a safer play. Even from where we currently are to where we were at the height there, that's 24% within the last 180. So even from where we currently are to where we were at a while back, it's 14%. I think that we make that quick 14% turnaround very easily here. And then again, if you guys see my analysis back here of my bare minimum and my bull maximum up here, I mean, we're talking about big percent up there at 70%. And I think it could even go higher. I think I have one level set even higher if I go to the 3-year. I mean, 43, yeah, so even higher potential there. So I think this is where we will enter our position when we close out Harley. I think we'll enter position here at CNK, and we'll ride this thing out for a couple months here. We had the pullback here, looking like a nice little cup and handle. Not picture perfect, but close enough. I think we're going to see this thing continue to rise up. I really think CNK is going to be a good long-term, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 month play here. I think a long-term swing for CNK. So once we're able to close out a Harley, we will enter a position in CNK. I most certainly think so. All right, guys, looks like we're going to hover around right there in that range between this 1075 to this 1119, more so between right here at about 1085 to 1107, 1106. And now we're starting to respect this 1085. So we'll see if we pop down even lower right here, and currently sitting there. We had it set, we took it off, and we moved it up higher. However, we just did not respect this too often. We removed it there. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one, and I'm going to put back the 1085. Oh, that's not 1085. Actually, I think I had 1086 maybe. Whatever. We'll set it right right there. We'll just leave it there, right? Looks good for now. And matter of fact, I'll set this one right here. Just so when we come back this afternoon for a power hour, we can kind of see if we've traded out of this. And look, we're already breaking below it. So just keep in mind we might be touching down here at this. I think 1075 was where I set earlier. So anyhow, I'm going to leave you guys off there. I want to thank you guys for watching today. If there's any calls you guys want me to take a look at, let me know. Yeah, we try to do this Monday through Friday when there is trading. Definitely right before bell, we hop on. We typically go through our portfolio and just see where we're at. I explain why we're in the positions that we're in for all the newcomers. And then we do a little stock scan. Today we didn't scan for too long. We're tied up in some bag holding and some swing trade stuff. So until we get some capital open and available, we will not really have anything to play with for a little bit to do some day trades. I have one more day trade left, which is why we're bag holding UPC. If you guys followed the stream on Friday, you'll know what happened to us on UPC. That little margin call alert freaked me out, and I had to do some digging and lost my my chance to sell out the position for a 5% profit. And I got a little greedy. I didn't stick to the strategy. So know your entry point, know your exit point, know your strategy, play your strategy to a T, and don't get greedy. So you're looking for volume and catalyst. And that's it. That's the strategy, guys. That's the scalp strategy there. Have a good, I don't know, couple hours. I'll see you guys in Power Hour. Thank you guys for watching. AMC doing its thing here. Currently finding a little bit of support down here at the 1075. So see if we're going to stay there. I'm going to go ahead and move our target down there. I know you guys can't see that, but we're going to leave it there. See where we trade at. And I'll just leave those couple there for this afternoon. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys this afternoon. Peace.
Mic off.